welcome once again in the class of the course Design of Steel Structure. We are learning the compression members. So far now we have seen the specifications given in the code for the compression members. What is the compression members? Effective lengths, then the formula for permissible stresses, uh, different specifications in the code and design procedure, as well as we have seen how to calculate the load carrying capacity of the compression member. So particularly this is the last lecture for the compression member. So in this lecture we are going to see uh, the design of the particular member and one more problem with the load carrying calculation of load carrying capacity of the I section. Also, if time permits, we will go through the few more problems. So I am Mr. S. S. Ogule, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering Department. So calculate the safe axial load for the stanchion. Stanchion means the column is called as stanchion. So ISHB 350 at 710 Newton per meter, that is the weight of the particular column, 3.5 meter high. Fy is given, that is 250 Newton per mm square. It is to be used as an uncased column in single story building. The column is restrained in the direction and position at both ends. So column is restrained in the direction as well as in the position at both ends. So from the table in as code, we are going to find the effective length, or in which case it fits. So it is already held in position and as well as the restraint against rotation at the both ends. So we are having here the effective length of 0.65 L. So L is the 0.65 L. We have the length 3.5 meter, that is 0.65 into 3.5 meter. So we are getting the 2275 mm is the length, that is effective length. So from steel table, what are the properties of ISHB 350 at 710 Newton per meter? So first, moving to the steel table, so we'll find the properties of I section, that is ISHB 300. This is the angle section, T section, and this is the I. So we are in search of this ISHB 350, I think. So here there are two ISHB 350. So the weight has been specified in our case, that is 710 Newton per meter. So here we are having two ISHB over here, and because of they are having the different sectional areas, so the weight has been different. And this reason of different sectional area, that is the width of the flange and the thickness is different. So we'll take the later case, that is that. So the sectional area of this particular member, that is ISHB 350 at 710 Newton. So 92.21 is the sectional area. So 92.21 is the sectional area, and we have to find Rx6 and Ryy. That is somewhere over here. This is Rx6 and Ryy. So for this particular member, Rx6 is 14.65 and Ryy is 5.22. It is in centimeters. So 114.65, that is 146.5, and 5.22, that is this, these two values. So the R minimum of these two is 52.2. So remember, for this section there is only Rx6 and Ryy because it tends to bend in only two directions. So the slenderness ratio, that is L effective R minimum, that is 2275 divided by 52.2, which becomes 43.58. So for R, this slender ratio of 43.58 and Fy equals to 250, we will find, so that becomes 43.58, 43.58. So it is somewhere between 139 and 132. So 139 and 132. So by interpolating, we are getting it 136.49. That is the sigma SE. So the safe axial load is 136.49 into the area, that is 9221. So the load, safe axial load is 1258.57. So this is the case of the ISHB, that is particularly column, not the strut member. So only for understanding I am taking this problem. Now moving to our next problem, that is design a single angle discontinuous strut to carry a load of 47 kilonewton. The length of the strut is 3 meter between intersection. The strut is connected to a gusset plate that is 12 mm thick with a 24 mm nominal diameter power driven rivets. So let us assume the allowable compressive stress. So first we have to assume the allowable compressive stress. This is our first step. So here we have to assume between 60 to 85. So we are assuming it at 60. So the cross section area required is this P force, that is 47 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 60. So we are having the area 783.33. So we are designing the single angle strut. So we have to find the section from the steel table, that is single angle. So using 24 mm power driven rivets. So phi is 24. So diameter plus uh, nominal diameter plus 1.5, that is cross diameter. So we are getting here 25.5 mm. So we'll try the first section over here, that is 100 by 8. You can try a different section also. So we are going towards the angle section. So we are trying first section, that is 100 by 8. 100 by 8. Let me, the sectional area of the 100 by 8 is 15.39 centimeter square. So 1539 mm square. The R minimum we are having here, R minimum, that is for this 100 by 8. This is 100 by 8. So the R minimum, that is amongst these four, that is RX, RYY, RUU, RVV. So 19.5 centimeter. So 19.5 mm, sorry, 19.5 mm. So the strength of the rivet in single shear, that is pi by 4 into d square tau vf. So it is power driven rivet, so it is tau vf is 100. So pi by 4 into 25.5 square into 100, that 51 kilonewton. So the strength in bearing is d into d in sigma pf. So 25.5 into 8 into 300, that is 61.2 kilonewton. So the rivet value is least of these two, that is 51 kilonewton, and the number of rivets required here is 1. That is, so we are finding this thing because we have to take, even though we have the section, we have to decide the L effective. So that's why we need the end condition. That's why we are uh, calculating the number of rivets. So we required only one rivet over here. We require one rivet over here. So hence L effective, that is equals to L when one rivet is required. So lambda equals to L by R, that is 3000. The center to center distance has been given, divided by R minimum 19.5. So that becomes 153.84. So again we need to check for the slenderness ratio, that should be lesser than 180. So condition is satisfying. So For this 153, we have to find the for 153, this 45 to 41, it should be in between 45 to 41. So by interpolating, we are getting the value 43.46 over here. So but allowable compressive stress in this case, we have to reduce it by, we do reduce it by 20%, that is we have to reduce it to 80%. So point 0.8 multiplying by point 0.8, so load carrying capacity we are getting here 34.76 into the area of this particular section, that is 1539. So that becomes 53.50, which is greater than 47 kilonewton. Hence the design is okay. So this is the design procedure of the particular compression member, particularly in the strut. So the same procedure can be followed or is followed for the design of column itself. So in coming sections or in second section, in coming chapters, we are going to see the detailed design of the columns, even for the build-up sections that we have seen over here. So these are the build-up sections. So how the to design these build-up sections? The build-up section has been used because sometimes these uh, single angles or the single eye sections are not sufficient. So for that we have to go for the this built-up sections. Either this or these all are some part or some kind of the built-up sections. So how to uh, design a built-up section, or how to choose the shape for the built-up sections, and then how to connect these things by lacing, battening, etc. So all these things we are going to learn in coming lectures. Coming lecture means in second section particularly, we have the separate chapter called column. This chapter, that is design of compression member, is limited to particularly for the struts. So in coming lecture, in second section, we are going to see all these column designs, and even with the how the connections can be made. Particularly I want to share something regarding this steel table. So when we are using this double angle, these are the single member properties. So when we are using the double angle or any connected section, we'll find the properties directly in this steel table itself. So you can see over here we have the double angles, and even the distance has been by how much distance they are separated, according to which we can calculate the different properties also, or properties in particularly that axis. So this is the this star like arrangement, that is two equal angles are starred. So this way we can find the properties. Even the plate at both flanges has been given. So this particularly will required in the case of beams especially. So what is the thickness of plate and all these things has been given over here. So by the way, we will find the properties directly in this case also. So moving further, the channel joist that has been given. This thing is helpful while designing the gantry girders particularly. So all these things are there. I will show you further. That is two channels, angles. We have that kind of properties also, that is directly given in this particular steel table. So only thing is, to become a good designer, you know all the things, or you have to keep practicing for so many problems, and you will come to know where all the things are there. And once you get those things, you will be able to design any sort of structure with and with some experience, you will design any sort of steel structures, because the designing is the method, or the uh, this is the work of the following the procedures as per these codal provisions. So here you can see with additional plate, that is it is for the column itself. So this is, so actually these are different things which have, and at the time of design you have to keep this thing with you, so that uh, the design will become a simpler. So this is the two eye sections. Same way, two channel sections back to back are there, two channel section toe to toes are there. So this way that distance has been given, and the properties are also given below. So while designing the beams or columns, you will come across all these things, and this way these two channels are back to back, and these are laced or battened. So here you will find the properties, all the properties of this thing. So for this ISGC, what is the weight area, then all things are mentioned over here. And this is the about the spacing between plates, so how the spacing increases or decreases. So in that fashion we will get all these properties, that is these properties are going to change. So we'll get all these properties. uh, Obviously the rx6 and zx6, all these things are remains, and ixs are remain same, only the properties in y direction are going to change. So all these properties has been given according to the particular spacing. So these are some examples of this. So this way you will find all the properties over, instead of calculating all the things, you will have a ready references for this particular. This is the both channel with the flange butting or welded toe to toe, that is here these are connected. So this way how the things will work, these are again the table number, that is 5.1, it is also given in the steel table. So this uh, and even age distance has been also given. So this steel table is permitted for exam also, even the is 800 also permitted. So you must know where the all things are lies in the particular, or what is the place of this particular clauses or the tables, and what thing you have to use for the particular design. So accordingly the design is there. So basically for this lecture I have used the Design of Steel Structure by S.K. Duggal. Mostly I'm preferring that book. Then IS code, that is IS 800 you have seen, and steel table. So all these things have, these two things are allowed to um, allowed in the exam for you also. So where the things are there and how to use those things, that is important. So keep practicing. Thank you.